In 1946, in my senior year in high school, I had a breakthrough from a depression through much of my earlier adolescence. Part of my reconnection to the world was a fascination and a passion for left-wing politics and justice, very left-wing politics. In my Brighton Beach neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York, many of the young people leading the work were Jewish, just the kind of people my father didn't want moving into our neighborhood. To complicate matters at home was the fact that my dad was the local Republican leader, and in my small Protestant Republican family and among my Protestant high school friends, things were very white bread, safe, and bland. But this new group of people were different. Among us, we talked of books and classical music, and of course, politics, which I had never done with my friends or family before. It was in the midst of all this that I met a dynamic young communist, an activist known for both his pranks and his rousing speeches at rallies. Also a high school senior, not mine though. He had amazing energy, a strong body, and curly brown hair, and from a Sicilian home. I was smitten, overwhelmingly a teenager in love. I contrived every opportunity and situation I could have to be with him. Frank was his name. His mother called him Francis. His mother was a good cook, and part of my contriving involved getting invitations to share some of her Sicilian cooking. I was in love with that too. A house filled with great cornucopia of smells of meat sauce and spaghetti with meatballs, baragiole and eggplant, and what I now know as the familiar smell of garlic. Frank's life was rich in basil and oregano, rich cheeses and cheesecake. All was wonderful. Frank presented as straight, and he was the son of a struggling single mother. I was then a deeply suppressed gay boy and having a hard time confusedly dealing with a serious love with a boy. Frank, for his part, was surreptitiously sexually active men as he began, but he did want to be straight, and ironically seemed to envy my white, very waspy world. We showed each other our worlds. Frank taught me about Broadway and how you could sneak in before the second act if you milled around with people during intermission. We went a lot to demonstrations and free summer concerts. Paradoxically, we were also drawn to the Flatbush Unitarian Church. The idyll ended in September, and my friends were back in school. No money for college. There wasn't much work then for young men. That was reserved in 1946 for the veterans of World War II who now needed employment. With the war over, the Army was desperate for new soldiers, so Frank and I enlisted for 18 months only to get a full college GI benefits. No gustatory adventures for a while in the military, and we were separated. He went to occupy Japan and I to occupy Germany. We would get back together again after our service. It became a time of heartbreak because Frank was not ready to commit and I was. But looking back, he helped break open my world more than a little. And he was a big piece of my stepping out of being a boy, feeling powerless and claiming my own place in the world and having that place feel exciting and worth risking for as a time of coming alive. So Frank was a love to remember in more ways than one.